At this point, I would ask, we have at least one other member of Congress, if he would come forward. Congressman Elijah Cummings has been actively involved in many aspects of education. He knows what the importance of it is. He represents his Baltimore City's congressional district. And Congressman, thank you very much for all your efforts.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Come on, we can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is certainly my honor and my privilege to be here this morning, and I want to thank the Alliance for Excellent Education, and I want to thank this coalition for coming together. And one of the things I do want to thank the coalition for doing is being specific. Too often what happens is that we are given a lot of recommendations, but they are so broad that it's very difficult to zero in on what to do and how to do it. You have given us, indeed, a blueprint for the future. But let me just take a moment and just say this, that as I sat there, and I'm so glad that I'm at the end of the program, because I had an opportunity to hear all of our speakers, and I could not help but think about what happened to me on Sunday morning. On Sunday morning at 7:15, as I was on my way to church, and I walked out of the door, Governor Wise, and I want to thank you, Governor, for doing such a great job with this organization. As I walked out the door, in front of my house, and I live in the inner bullseye inner city of Baltimore. I didn't move. And the police commissioner lives right next to me with a camera in front of his house. And as I walked out the door, there was a man who was about 55 years old rummaging through my car. There were a few coins that I had in the little compartment for the meters. And he was trying to get my 50 cents. 55 years old, African American in the inner city. Wade, the question must be asked, what does that have to do with all of this? My daughter asked me the question, said, Daddy, why didn't you run after him? And I said, he kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And she said, but why didn't you run after him? I said, because he's probably a dropout. From 33 years ago. From 33 years ago. He is the chickens coming home to roost. But just think about the people younger than him, the ones that I met the other day at the Job Corps Center, some 600 of them, when I asked the question, how many of you all would have dropped out if you had known what you know now? And by the way, the one who was out the longest in that 600 was out a year and a half. All of them said, I would not have dropped out. 600 students. Where do we fail our children? Where do we fail them when this week, yesterday, I talked to a Baltimore City education group that has a maritime school that has no maritime courses. What's up with that picture? So you ask yourselves the question, why do our children drop out? Why do we end up with a 55-year-old man in the middle of the inner city in front of the police commissioner's house on Father's Day, robbing the congressman in front of his house of 30 cents and saying, I'm sorry? The reason why I say all this is because I want to put what we are doing here in context. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I worry about Osama bin Laden. I really do. But the greatest threat to our national security is our failure to properly educate every single one of our children. That's the national threat. And then the question becomes, what is the enemy of our destiny? What is the enemy of our destiny as a nation? People at the utility company in Baltimore having to hire people 75 years old to go up the pole because they cannot find, and fix electric lines because they cannot find young people to come in and do the job. Nursing opportunities gone by the wayside. Why can't find the nurses to do it when we got inner city young ladies trying on shoes at Nordstrom's when they could be healing the sick? Nothing wrong with Nordstrom's, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is missed opportunity. And so the reason why I wanted to come here is just to congratulate you for what you're doing, but I just wanted to warn you of something. I hate to bring some negativity on your situation here, but we can't let this thing collect dust. There are report after report after report that have collected dust, and anybody here who knows anything about policy and anybody here who has been around for a little while, you don't have to be around long, knows that there are reports and recommendations that are piled up and never see the light of day. Now, I asked myself the question real quick. I said, Elijah, after I read the report, it's a great report, I said, asked myself, Elijah, what do you do? Who's going to do this? And then it came to me, it says, you, dawg. You got to do this. When I walked in the room, as I closed, when I walked in the room, Danny Davis says, oh, education is an issue for you? I said, yes, education is an issue for me. Education is everybody's issue. Everybody's issue. It's everybody's issue. And the reason why I am so passionate about it is because they put me, and somebody up here spoke about, my brother from the NACP spoke about when misreading kids. They put me in special ed. Put me in special ed, the congressman. At 5 years old, said you'll never be able to read or write. Ended up graduating Phi Beta Kappa. Give me a break. We must have advocates for our children. And as this is my final message, the greatest thing that we can do is create opportunities for our children. Ladies and gentlemen, the goodness and the greatness and the gifts are already there. They're already there in our children. Our job as adults is to find those things and cultivate it and bring it and draw it out. Draw it out of them so that they can go on to be the great, great, great human beings that God intended them to be, and so that they will not be in front of the congressman's house on Father's Day, in front of the police commissioner's house with a camera on it at 55, robbing them of 30 cents. May God bless.